the winners, we have to be, magnanimous in victory, because sometimes your celebration alone, even though it's well deserved, also can cause another form of discontent for those aggrieved. One of the things that saddens me, Annie, is the number of women that couldn't retain their seats, or who, in their constituencies, when they lost out, they were replaced by men. So already the numbers, it's even. On Mago's side, 20, and on the MPP side, it's 20. But looking at the number of women that have fallen out, I'm literally counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which brings us down to 14. When it came to the orphan constituencies, I don't think we're even more than 12 females are contested, which means that if we are not careful, we might drop down in the numbers.
How many women do you have in the orphan constituencies?
I'm trying to remember. It was myself, Amadokwa, Akwapim North, and Mona. I've forgotten Mona's constituency. She's a deputy at Kodak. And then I don't think it's even up to 10. Which shows, it's a real challenge. And for the women, Mago has contested before. Biggest challenge for any politician is raising resources and ensuring that you stay in the game, because it's so resource sapping, and I don't know what we can do in the politics to reduce it. No matter what we say, there are people that will always bring their personal needs and challenges to their MPs or people they feel can solve their issues. And I would invite Mago and myself to come and share our experiences as female aspirants having contested, at least on the, I've done the internal primaries. Mago went on to do the general election, I'm happy to see stalwarts like Eslowusu still in the game, Hawa Kumsin, Honorable Hawa Kumsin. Just their results were just inspiring. On the fallout, when it comes to END, Annie, Abibata and Farouk, Honorable Farouk, last primaries, their contest was very keen. It was keenly contested. The difference between them was less than 40 votes. I think it was 35 votes. Going into this election, I couldn't predict who would have won. It wasn't clear for me. Both sides saw themselves in the game. I remember it was around 12 or so when I was checking what was happening to papers.
Yeah.
And what was also really interesting was a declaration of results. I think I saw even some news portals Ghana Web carried a story that Farouk had won.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's only the EC that can declare results. The EC did not. The EC officials did not declare. There was a formal declaration in the form of a third vice and some constituency executives, I believe, are aligned to Farouk. But that is not how elections are conducted. The only person that can call the election, the result of it, is the EC. It has to be quickly resolved. I believe I listened to the General Secretary today on my way. He spoke on Peace FM and he mentioned that the Elections Monitoring Committee would receive a report and they would work with the report to make a decision quickly on what has to be done at END. I'll call for calm on both sides, the supporters. You know how it is. If we get too entrenched, what happens in the general election? You forfeit the seat. Both of them are, great young people who are a lot of young people in the party aspire to. It's quite unfortunate this happened this way. And also to call on some of the supporters. There was a flyer where they are literally taking the results of the presidential primaries and assigned it to Farouk's vote. So Dr. Bamia's vote was assigned to Farouk, and Honorable Kennedy's votes were assigned to Abibata, and they shared it. And people believed that to be the outcome. And that's the age of social media that we are in, where people are using all sorts of things to create a certain impression or to to push a certain narrative. It's no different from AI being used even to. It's an app. It's actually an app that creates that. So I can say that Mago has now the psychology of a white person saying something to somebody. You know, there are some people that, hey, Obodi na account, wajedi. It's something that internally I saw it. It can be a problem on both sides. We need to be very, very clear on the laws and put whatever sanctions are necessary and clamp down on it. Otherwise, it's going to be a real challenge this year. I think, which other place did you mention? So as far as the ND is concerned, I didn't see any EC
votes buying allegations.
Votes buying allegations after every internal, external primaries. These issues come up. It is within this context, you know, there are laws and there are, you know, cases and all that. We even saw the OSP take up certain issues. On both sides, it's not limited to one party. The grey area is the distinct line between vote buying and mobilization or transportation or facilitation.
We're hiding under all those lines.
I'm saying that it's a grey line because vote buying, in terms of whatever assessment we'll make, there are several people who will tell you, maybe I gave this for mobilization or whatnot and still lost their elections, right? So as far as money being a part of our politics is concerned, the bigger issue is how do we have a conversation about campaign financing? Because that's what the challenge is. If you are going to level the playing ground for everybody, how do we do it? It doesn't come to the internal election. It's on a broader level. Are we going to put guidelines in place that, okay, ABC, your campaign streams, financing streams are here. The state is going to give everybody this amount of money, if indeed they want to ensure that we are making it free and fair for all. Because we keep coming back to the same conversation, but it comes back to the structure of campaign financing. Look at the recent fallout with Sanchez in America opting out. And the conversation was that his financiers could tell that it wasn't going well for him because the polling wasn't in his favor. So guess what? They said the money dried up. But this is something you can't foresee. But with our setup, you can't really tell how anybody is coming up with it or how they are not. But as the biggest selling point for anybody going into an election is how well you're able to meet their demands as and when they ask for it. The lasting solution, therefore, is that research entities and, you know, CDD, Westminster Foundation for Democracy, these are institutions that have done their own research on how to ensure a free and fair process. They've shown the cost of elections. And it keeps getting higher. Look, the advocacy that even MMDCs and all that should be voted for is one conversation that a lot of people say no to because it becomes another layer of cost because people make certain demands. And it's not the politician, it's actually the people that you are going to seek to serve. So for instance, let me just imagine that somebody has fined a gentleman, a fine brain like Ace Akuma, right, wants to run for a primaries. Or somebody has in the NDC who is probably retired or something. Maybe, Betty Mould, yes. So Madame Betty Mould, if she still wants to run, the chances are the conversation on mobilization or transportation or facilitation will come up. And it won't come up because she wants to do it. The very people who have to vote her in will tell you that, oh, madam, you are very nice, but if on the day you don't give us transportation, you don't get what you're looking for. And then people also provide same. And I say it's a distinct line between that and vote buying. They provide same, everything, and still lose the election. So there's a myriad of issues that goes into what would carry on for any aspirants to win. And there are people that you know. Some of them you were with them the night before at their constituencies.
Hey.
Yes. No one send me more information. Assisting them. Not because, not like you are actively helping them, but you are friends with them and you want the best for them. And you've seen the cost of the election. Even food that you have to cook. on the day.
I don't know
Water, you know, you're a journalist, you know. I mean, you have friends in the space, you know. Water, all the things you provide for. It would amaze you that somebody will probably be leading the day off and forgot to provide food, and that is what will change the dynamics of it. Yeah. But has provided facilitation and support and everything. But when it comes to us, especially for us women, raising resources for any election is not as easy as anybody thinks, and that is what would push us out of the game. But we've seen the changes that women bring into politics. We've seen the changes that women bring into leadership. So we need as many women to get into it. So it's a broader conversation. I mean, when people say, oh, where did they get the money from? It's a legitimate line of inquiry. Because depending on how you've lived your life, which relationships you've built, which circles you are in, it can help or it can hurt. There are some people who find themselves, even sitting here. I come and sit here. The last time somebody reached out to me because I made a submission here that they were happy about, and they wanted to print T-shirts for me. I didn't question, where are you coming from? Who do you support? What is your religion? You need a T-shirt, so you say what? Thank you, and you accept it. And that's the nature of the politics you are in.
That's what they always say.
Oh, sometimes it happens. You know.
Me and then
you know. I'm just saying. I mean, Annie, by you, we have conversations outside it. I could show it to you. It happens. We sit here. Sitting here is not. We don't get paid for sitting here. But when you make sensible arguments, you actually carry some people along. Even if they don't support your party, they feel that you bring something to the table, and they can assist you if you ask for the help. Sometimes the only place they've seen you is probably sitting here, and knowing that you are part of their fold, or you advocate for something that they are part of. So there's also the pretense and the hypocrisy bit of it, where when it ends, hey, they paid, they did this, they did that. But you'd realize that it's same on both sides.
Everybody paid.
Everybody puts something in on the day. So that accusation becomes hypocrisy. Because
I mean, the constituencies that were not able to go, some of them, I was in your constituency, I think days before the elections. Some other constituencies as well. Some, if you're not able to go, you place calls. You know, you try to in the constituencies.
If you're not able to go, I don't understand.
If you're not able to go into that particular constituency, if let's say I'm not able to go to maybe the northern part or the western part or wherever, and then you place in calls, the kind of information you gather about monies that are being paid. And
there's also something that
is mind-boggling.
Is worrying on the day, and it happened to, like on Saturday, one in a particular, I won't mention the constituency, but somebody had leaked information that mobilization was going to come with a certain amount attached. It's all part of the games people play. Yet, when they got there, there was no such thing. The mobilization or transportation, in the opinion of the voters, was woefully adequate and even insulting. It didn't matter that this person had kept faith with them. It didn't matter that this person had campaigned on messaging, had an actual message for them. It didn't matter that that person's message post-election was something that would really elevate their welfare or reduce their burden as it is. It didn't matter. All that mattered was they had heard a certain narrative, and that wasn't the case. And depending on who you place the call to, you're going to have different narratives from there. But it comes to the broader conversation of how do we finance campaigns? It would even help that third force, fourth force, fifth force, if they have their campaign financing properly structured, it would mean that the duopoly of NPP, NDC would reduce. It would put political parties on their toes to always do the right thing.
All right. Let me come to Margot.
Yeah, Annie.
NPP primaries.
I think, first of all, I'll also touch on the women bit. Unfortunately, Adra Safwa lost.
Unfortunately?
And
why is it unfortunate?
I was just thinking about the percentage she's taking out. As we were discussing the number we have in Parliament now, the NDC has 3 of our women lost. So out of the 20, we are certain of 17. And I mean, we've had other candidates. Fortunately, Domi Kwabinya will be replaced by a woman, Elik Plem Kulugu. So, at least, she will.
You will make
yeah. She will make up for Ajwa Safo. But you see,
but I think talking about women, when women fight for rights and women fight for representation, and they're giving the opportunity, they should hold it to their hearts.
Oh yes.
You know,
yes.
Don't hold it as though it's a birthright. It's not.
When Akosia said you can provide food and everything and you can still lose, because in the morning when I saw the breakfast,
the yogurt, or it wasn't yogurt.
No, proper breakfast. Don't
this morning.
I was
the Saturday morning. Okay.
You didn't watch.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
So these are people who are supposed to be role models, and you hear this upon all the number of constituencies that went through their primaries. Yendi was, bad news sells. It was all about Yendi. They have declared for this, they have declared. And Haji Abibata, from the proper MPP traditional home, the father was the first MP, I think, under Buzia, and even under Liman. So she is from a traditional MPP home, the heart of MPP in Yendi. And Farouk too, looking at where, so both of them have some past glory, that they are carrying along onto the, yes. So my father was first MP, my father has been the vice, I mean, my father was bigger than yours. But the point is that these are youthful people and we should set very good examples.
No, but I don't even blame them much. The one I blame the most is how strangely an EC officer would have ballot papers touched on him. How? Why? From where to where and why?
The point is that...
because sometimes when these primaries are run in political parties, they are like a test case for us.
For the election.
Exactly.
In this country, especially under Madame J. Mensah, the NDC and other civil societies, other academia, we've complained a lot about the way she goes about her things. And internally, if you are conducting internal party primaries and EC... officials are helping allegedly a certain candidate to win is a cause for worry. Yeah. But these young people should not resolve their problems through violence. Either verbal abuse or physical abuse, I think, is a no-no. As I spoke about women and youth, even the aged, Katie Hammer, standing right in front of a district commander or a police commander or whatever, telling him that he's going to beat his contender mercilessly.
Holding the police officer.
Telling him, Commander, funny enough,
he said
the guy should run out of town. You want to beat somebody, you want him to run. And when he said he was going to beat him, I thought it was going to be physical between the two. He said he was going to hide people. Can you imagine?
Oh, you thought it was the two of them?
I said the way, didn't you see the film? So I was like, this man, can he fight? Then later, he qualified it for, he said he's going to hide tax. So he should run. You see, youth, women, aged, we don't need this. We are in to serve the people. You want to serve somebody. Why do you want to beat the person to serve the person? I want to serve you. You tell me it's not yet your time. In 2015, as Akosia said, I contested my party's internal primaries in Suhum. 2016, I contested the main election against the MPP Minister for Violence, Mr. Opariansa. He said it clearly that if Kennedy Chapon doesn't know, so go and ask. He's a man of violence. I contested him. You see, this is what goes on. And even in that race, do you know that one of their papers, Freddie Blaise paper, is a daily something?
Freddie Blaise doesn't have a paper.
No, their former chairman, what's Mewu? Daily Guide. Every week, they had some cartoon they would do for me, put a machine gun in my hand, and called me Suhum Chavez. A woman, a young lady who was contesting the Minister for Violence for MPP. Mr. How do you call it? Opariansa. They cut every week. They called me Suhum Chavez. So, things that I didn't know of. And these are things that they do to us as young people, as women who want to come up and serve the people. You are serving the people. If the people want you, send your message. Don't deliberate your contender and say lies, the kind of things that we go through. And you see, in the whole northern region, I was hoping at least They don't have any woman there, so Hajia Abibata could at least represent her party over there, just to even show that we are trying to encourage women. It is so sad. The kind of thing that I've been through, and thankfully, my friend Oparanta himself told the whole country that he's a minister for violence. So, Annie, you can imagine. But as Akosia, the things that they heard about me, things that I knew not. I mean, how can I hold a machine gun? But this is how they described me.
Yeah, it's all literature.
Things that I do nothing about, but because she's a woman, she's a young girl. Please, we want to serve this country. We are youthful people. We are the majority of this country. Give us the opportunity to serve. The world is evolving. The times, allow the young ones to even walk in your shoes and become like you people. So for the youth, it's so bad, and I think this is not something we should encourage. And as I said, Mr. Katie Hammond, I heard Joe Wise being interviewed, and he said, Mr. Katie Hammond loves to dramatize issues. Standing in front of a police, this video will go viral outside this country, and people will wonder how a minister of state, a member of parliament, can stand in front of the police and tell them I am going to break the law, and nothing happened. I don't know whether there's been a release about his conduct, or maybe he's apologized or something. But if such is not done, what are we teaching the young ones? That if you are an MP or if you're a minister, you can say anything. He's making an announcement to the police, I'm going to commit a crime. The intention alone, he should have been arrested.
And the police was standing by saying, honorable, oh,
the
honorable.
police was even trying to patronize him, oh, you should come down. He said, no, I'm only informing you. Annie, you can go to police station and inform them that today I'm going to beat somebody, and you will come out. We should not encourage things like this. This is all about service. And if indeed, Annie, we are into this to serve Ghanaians, then this kind of thing shouldn't come up at all. If you want to serve the people and the people feel that this is the right time, they will give you the opportunity. If not, why? In 2016, when Ghanaians decided that, we want to get a new person and maybe test the promises and stuff, President Mahama and the NDC allowed it. Now, 2024, Ghanaians have experienced both, and they are going to change their mind come December 7th. Allow the people you want to serve to choose the people they want to give them the power to serve them. So I congratulate those who won, more especially the women. At least they can represent their political parties in the various constituencies, but they can't beat the NDC candidates. That one, I can assure them. I congratulate Akusia. She's my sister. I wish her were, but she will be a candidate for her party, because she can't beat Ramadan. That one. And she's in my constituency too, so yeah. So Annie, that was bad. And with regards to the fake news, we heard Akosia mentioned fake news, and I wanted to, now that she is even here, I think she'll be the best person to clarify this one, because we can't have Farouk to ask him whether you were able to give 5,000 to over 500 delegates. But during Akosia's election, we saw videos that Akosia has done a selective agenda. I don't know whether you saw those videos. When you mentioned fake selective agenda, and that she gave 2,000 to some people, and she didn't give some people because her team said you are not going to vote for us and all that. And basically, as a candidate, if you are going into your primaries, strategically, it's very prudent that every branch or polling station, you make your team do a survey and know how many votes you get from each. So at least, as a candidate who is prepared to win, you should know the number of people. The similarity index should be very close. Margin of error, very minimal. And they said Akosia did selective agenda. I remember that I was so interested in her contest. And I'm like, how can Akosia pay? Because she had over 814 votes. How can she pay 2,000 each to 814 people? And even if she did the selective agenda indeed, I think she will project 9. See, the thing is, the money bit is taking the quality out of it. This is parliament. We are voting for people to go and make laws and represent us. So if we are going to put quality aside, we are going to put smartness, intelligence aside, we are going to put humanity aside and vote for who has the money, then Annie, a time will come, as the special prosecutor said, a murderer will walk to court and tell you to give him bail or something. We have to look at it. It is becoming one too many. The country is bankrupted.
But
how can a bankrupt country have individuals who have huge sums of money to splash around?
I'm not sure how, like the SP has tried investigating some of these allegations that come up. How is he going to?
And that man, I think he lost the controller
and accountant general.
Yeah, he had, I think, 70 something or so.
But we advised him. You didn't listen.
Very, very, very bad. Because I was looking out for him the way he was.
No, he was one of the people that got advice from the media that, Masa, how do you move from this office and say you're going to run for, controller and accountant general?
And you see, honey, with the number of ministers, I think about 7 or 9 of them that fell. Deputy minister. For the first time, I heard the deputy minister for health is called Ansar Mahama. Just my name, N is just taken out of the Ansar. His is ASEI.
Oh, okay, he's Ansar.
Deputy Ansar Mahama, deputy minister for health, deputy minister for communication, our own friend Eugene and Dr. Kisi, and all those. I was surprised. But the deputy ministers that lost is a clear message that the MPP itself is rejecting the government. Because these are ministers who are representing the executive. So if their own party people is telling them that we don't want you, you have not performed to our satisfaction internally, then it's a sign that the government is rejected. It is a clear message that we all know that the MPP is exiting, but they themselves from their primaries have spoken clearly. They have made a voice that the government is non-performing. And aside that, as I said, the country is bankrupted. I don't know how individuals in a certain political class can be so richer. And sometimes let the political, class and the economy, let it move in pairs. But how can individuals be so rich and yet a country is so broke? We have been asked to tighten our belts. We have been asked to take haircuts. In the history of this country, for the first time, we've had political Delilahs who are shaving the substance of this country. Men have become women. Yet, in their primaries, you see money at the center of everything. Instead of message, instead of strategy, instead of mechanism, instead of being futuristic and giving hope. And these are things we should discourage because we are young people. What Akosia did today, I did it in last year, I did it in 2015. We are all trying to build this country and make this place a very beautiful place because we don't have any families anywhere. Wherever you sit, you hear the voices of your parents telling you to take Ghana far, to put Ghana first above your personal aggrandizement. So please, young folks, whatever the situation is, we want to serve and represent our people. We don't have to sell it. Because when you sell it and they buy it, they go to sit in parliament, they are so stressed and they will do everything to get the money back. And that is where the challenge is. I mean, you will wake up in the morning and MP's office, chief executive's house is flooded with people. They are coming with their concerns. As a country, I think it's high time we have to look at how to build human capacity.
Okay, so Larati says that the name is Asay, not Ansay or Ansay.
I didn't say Ansay. Okay. I said mine is Ansay and his Asay.
His is Asay.
The N is out.
Oh, the N is out. Okay.
And mine has the N.
Okay.
Annie, you see, we need to build this country in such a way that people can be a little bit self-sufficient. That's this huge, because an MP can decide to go to parliament, not do anything for 4 years because he knows that when he comes, he will buy it. So what will be the effect? How are we going to benefit?
The people who vote, delegates who vote, should start thinking that, and I say that delegates do what they do because there's a triggering factor or factors.
Yeah.
They have seen something, they've heard something, so now they come to the table demanding. If you don't give us anything, we're not voting. What have they heard? What is making them do that? So, firstly, we need to review that.
Yeah.
And
because
delegates should also.
A lot of people don't even know the duties of
the MP. Well, on the side of the delegates, they should also know that if you have about 800 delegates, or let's say 1,000 delegates, if you do the alleged Akosua strategy.
Yeah. Akosua had
No, I take
818.
exception to that.
What?
Because no, we said here.
What she said.
Yeah, what she said.
But Akosua said you are here.
What did you say? Did you say pick and choose? What's the strategy? Wait, hold on.
Selective agenda.
Whilst we were here, the hypocrisy and double standards and the pretense just exhibited itself. We agree that women have challenges. We agree that financing is a challenge.
Allow her.
Wait. And you have actually contested before. You even brought up something I'd never heard before, that a gun was put in your hands and they called you Shabez.
In the cartoon.
Yes, I recall at the time, and I'm not just saying this because of what she brought up, but it leads to a conversation that she sanctioned the beating of the MPP loyal ladies during the general election.
They were all alleged. And when you say
you're saying they're all alleged, but the girls were beating. This was during the general election.
You saw
sanctioned,
them beating?
No, we saw them beating. They took them.
They were
till
beaten
date.
by who?
In fact, till date, one of them still has a scar on the back. But this is something they hold against you because it happened, and the people who did it said you sanctioned them.
Exactly.
Hold on.
It against me.
Good, but I'm saying that I wouldn't come and sit here and throw allegations and rumors and ask you to speak to it. Because we said that the distinction here is that
we are talking about
no matter,
buying.
I'm saying,
and you are here.
No, it's
to
not.
At least
I'm
clearing
the air for you.
Exactly.
I'm clearing it for you. When you go into an election, and we sat here and we both agreed. You can't tell me that you saw me in a video giving something
I didn't
to.
say that.
Yes, so wherever you saw the video, I haven't seen the video. Maybe the both of you have seen. I haven't seen the video.
Which video?
The distinction. That's what you are alluding to. Again.
No, I haven't seen a video.
When you say
no, the video in the video you said someone. Hold on, you said someone was saying what in the video?
She was doing a.
She even said at the same time she advised that.
So it's a recorded video from her consultant
at the polling station and decide who is for you and narrow it down to support those people. Which then means, what does that mean? Because it's like you are talking at the both
alluding to the fact that you do
yes,
alluding
to the fact that then those people are the ones that what you give your support to. Facilitation, transportation, mobilization. I drilled down on it here. No police station executive can say that an aspirant physically puts money in their hand and said, this is for you to vote for me, because there's no guarantee that that is what will give you the vote. I'm saying that it's a myriad of things.
Okay, hold on. When you give what you title, say, transportation or facilitation, the facilitation, what does it include, or what does it?
The notion is that they are coming there trekking to come and vote at a center.
So
they are going to
transport, eating,
whatever it
or
is.
Feeding. So when you give maybe that small amount of money, that will amount to maybe sometimes how much? 100 cities, 200 cities?
It depends on who wants to support the polling station executive. It depends. She is alluding to Yendi paying 5,000. I haven't seen it. But we sit here and it's like we've almost forgotten, even talking about violence and citing Katie Hammond. As recent as, in terms of the violence that she alludes to, as recent as
I want to stay on this. Before you go to Katie Hammond, hold on. Before you go to, I want you to settle on this first.
I can't settle on it because you are alluding to a video and allegations which I'm not privy to,
because I was making a point.
Which videos? I don't know where she got it from.
But before you move to Katie Hammond. When you give transportation to a delegate, maybe they've come in numbers, they're about 50 or 100, and you give them the envelopes, what do you say to them?
Who gives them the envelopes?
I don't know. You are saying that.
But you are making the assumption.
No, you are saying that transportation facilitation.
So for instance,
that one you cannot do without it.
Right. The party, and I think it was even reported here, the parties during the presidential primaries, the party gave 50 cedis transportation to all polling station executives. Note that it's not just for one constituency, it's across the country.
The party?
Yes. The party supports its polling station executives because you need to kit them or tool them to work.
So does the party hand over this assistance to maybe the candidates?
No, they don't do
handle
that.
Or the party officials do that?
They are party officials in the constituency, the constituency executives.
So the party executives?
Now, the consideration is that for any aspirant, and she cannot feign pretense or ignorance on this, that the very people who come and vote would let you know what they need. And that need they put in front of you does not guarantee that you get their vote. Do you understand? So you sat here on your station just as recent as when they held their presidential primaries. where the OSP is said to have been questioning the flag bearer for spending 14 million Ghana cedis on the voting day. Was it vote buying? When we saw videos of their party people saying that their flag bearer did not give them 40 cedis, and as such they are not going to campaign for them in 2024. Was that vote
because
buying?
some were giving 40 cedis.
Yes. Was that vote buying?
And there was a communique to that effect.
You can communicate all you want.
But this vote buying allegation is not peculiar to MPP.
Exactly.
It is the same way. You're asking me how it was deployed. It's the same way that her flag bearer deployed 40 million Ghana cedis to their executive.
Each them.
40 million cedis TNT.
We didn't hide
on primaries.
It was out there.
So if you are saying
after your primaries, there were lots of videos. So I told you, I follow you, King, because you're a sister. My point is that.
Don't use that term loosely here. Now you advocate for women in politics, and you talk about.
I can't talk about somebody that I do not know, but at least yours. And I live in your constituency, and I saw the videos. I heard that. Do you know why I paid attention to it? The selected agenda or whatever selective agenda. I was like, hey,
but you endorsed it because you just told me that I have to be very careful who is for me and who is not for me. You just
no, I did not refer that to you. I said any strategic or when you're going into any election, you have to do that. Finding your people and taking care of them. So I said, the rest are not
finding your people who are yours.
We need to go and ask those polling station executive of yours who made that allegation. But at least I could say you are here. I won't say this behind you. And yes, Margot, I didn't do that.
I'm saying that.
Honey, I think it will even give people the opportunity because the videos went viral.
We are speaking to two things.
It will give people the opportunity to hear your. This is what I saw.
You only saw.
And you are here. You are here. So at least, oh my God, this thing never happened. So that others who are privy to such videos